Hello again, everyone. Saka here, and welcome back to another episode of American Truck Simulator. And as you can see, we are locked and loaded, ready to go to transport this Chinook helicopter out of Riverton. Let's take a look at our route here. This is a special transport. So one of the routes is from Riverton up to Jackson, but we are going right up in the corner of Wyoming to this rest stop right up here. So I don't know if we're actually going to get credit for seeing Jackson. Hopefully so. If not, we may have to come back. But I wanted to at least get this special transport done. Let's go ahead and get in second gear and start rolling. We'll have police escort. And thankfully, our truck does have some pull to it. And make sure that we can take these turns nice and wide, not clip this Prius. And we almost clipped the building there. Let's go nice and wide around this fence, and we'll be making a left turn, so another wide turn. Barely going to squeeze out. There we go, diff lock off. And there is our police escort. Let's get out to the right-hand lane, and on our journey, let's run some red lights. And I guess it stands to reason that the first light we come to is a red. And hopefully there's no traffic in that oncoming left-hand lane. There we go, green lights. And today, our topic is going to be something that happened in the news today. So a little look behind the curtain. You can tell what day I'm recording this, but today someone got a hold of the Twitch back end, essentially source code, a lot of financial records and whatnot, showing exactly how much some streamers have made each month and over the past couple months. And it just goes to show the difference between the elite streamers and those that are grinding day in and day out to try to make it. Twitch is no different from YouTube or let's say professional sports or something of that nature, where you've got a lot more people trying to make it than actually do. So, you know, those numbers pop up and people are like, wow, you make $200,000 a month, that's crazy. And I mean, to be fair, some of those streamers even post how many subs that they have at that current time, and it doesn't take hardly any back-of-the-envelope mathematics to take that number times 5, divide it by 2, so Twitch gets their half and the streamer gets the other half. And, you know, that is just the baseline on top of merch and sponsorship deals and all things of that nature. The elite are truly elite in that fashion. A little creator like myself on YouTube especially certainly isn't clearing any sort of living wage. Even with the subscriber numbers I get, it's not like I have a high number of people that tune in video by video no matter what I post. So I'm certainly not up there with the elite by any stretch of the imagination. I mean, that would be an ultimate goal, that I could stop my day job and do this, make videos on the regular, but unfortunately that is not to be. And even if I did set up some sort of like merch, you know, cups or shirts or something like that, I don't think anyone would buy them. It'd be one of those things that like I would spend time and effort and money out of my pocket to try to get started, and nothing would come of it. And that's the hard road to hold for an entertainer or, you know, entertainment business, whether it's online streaming or whether it's, you know, acting, or if it's sports, or if it's 3D modeling. You know, there's a lot of people with general access. Anyone these days can stream, whether it be from their phone or from a even a laptop, you don't need a whole lot of equipment to get started in the space. So if you have a great idea or a niche that you fill very quickly, you can do very well right from the get-go. Then others that try to compete with, oh wow, you got pulled over there, buddy. Oh no, that's just the oversized load. I was going to say, big truck, Wyoming got pulled over, wouldn't surprise me a bit. But you know, this particular channel is simulation in nature, simulation strategy, and there are definitely peers that I could look at and say, yeah, they're my content too. I get along very well with these type of content creators, and they've been around for much longer than I have, that is for sure. They've put in their work and paid their dues as well. It's kind of easy to be jealous, to look over and say, what makes them different from me? Well, obviously them. I mean, that's no matter where you go. What makes, you know, a wide receiver different from another wide receiver of similar skill? You know, what makes an actor different from another actor? It's, you know, personality or cadence or accent, or, you know, just something that sort of sets them apart. Even though they're doing very similar things, there are the elites and then the ones that want to be where they are. But definitely enjoying still the process. And I'll say this for as long as I'm on YouTube. I do it because I enjoy it, that is for sure. Playing American Truck, seeing all these cool sights, getting to sim drive, racing with my best friend week in and week out. That's really what that NASCAR season is all about. And sure, it may show what the drivers are actually going to be facing in a similar condition in real life. It does tie into reality a bit, but the main goal is to have fun playing games, to get away from the daily grind, to get away from the buffalo. Yeah, no need to get away from the buffalo or those bison. That's one of those things you know, an animal lover, they'd know the difference between a bison and a buffalo. If there are any, it could be just a regional name difference, but if you know, you know. I learned that from my Planet Zoo playthrough, that is for sure. There are a lot of fans from animals who know everything about a certain animal, everything about them, and they know, you know, they're very particular. And that's the simulation crowd in general. They're very particular on proper ways to do things. People telling me in my playthrough of Planet Zoo, I should do this. And quite frankly, most of those types of comments I don't even pay attention to. I'm sorry. For one, that series is done. It's been a long time since I booted up Planet Zoo. So if someone tunes in to an episode 1 that I've made, you know, 2.5 years ago saying, oh, you should do this to the pen, well, I'm sorry. I've uninstalled that game, deleted that game save, can't go back and do anything about it now. And if I do go back, I'm not going to remember what even you said. But I'm more the, does the game allow it to happen? Is the game happy with that? Because certainly, the things you can do in Planet Zoo are not as realistic as it could be. If a person who designs zoos on the professional, or a zoo designer, could play Planet Zoo and do things the correct way. But I am just a dude who likes playing games, and when a game tells me that the animal is happy, then that's good enough for me. I don't, you know, oh, grizzly bears require a stone cave made of slate and limestone, and the temperature must be between 34 and 35 degrees. It's like, look, if the game is going to give me 30 to 40, it's going to be, you know, wherever it lands first. I'm not too awful particular. If the game tells me it's good, it's good. And I guess, you know, the simulation crowd, for sure, is not happy to hear that sort of thing. Flight simming is another thing. Wow, over the river and through the frickin' woods here. But, like, luckily I haven't been assailed on my flight sim videos. I've enjoyed flying, and I even had a real-world pilot comment that they enjoyed the view and how awesome that it looked. But nothing as far as procedures. And, you know, flying a plane, definite government-regulated procedures. You have to follow a very specific way of doing things. Checklists. You have to follow a very specific path. But until Microsoft Flight Simulator penalizes me for not doing it correctly, I'll do it the way the game allows it to happen, let's say. And, you know, some of the aircraft are not as involved. You can't do a complete checklist for a 747 because, you know, only a quarter of the switches work in the cockpit. So I do with what I got. But guys like poor Jeff Fabiano, who, you know, was got his pilot's license and does things as best as he can, still gets the naysayers saying you should do this, and he has to cover up his videos by saying we're not doing this real world today, we're just having fun. And that's the way I always approach my games regardless, is we're just here to have fun. We're here to see the sights, you know, enjoy what the developers put out. We're not here to be a training video. If you wanted to drive this Volvo, this is exactly how you would start this Volvo. No, I push my gas pedal, the truck turns on, and off we go. That's not to say that I wouldn't appreciate a little bit more in-depth as far as the handling goes, to be penalized for driving too quick, to have a realistic weight load shift on the back. You know, that stuff would add to the driving, to the feel, to make it more of a sim. And I'm all about sim. I'm hoping the new NASCAR Ignition, with the R-Factor engine that the driving is based on, is very sim-like. I hope I can basically make it to where this is as close as we can get to a NASCAR Cup car feeling. You know, the closer that is, awesome. Nice. Yeah, I don't know how I got on this tangent. That's what this series is all about, just talking whatever comes in my head while we enjoy the Wyoming wilderness and the national parks. But to circle back around to, I guess, sort of put a button on it, if you watch my videos and you watch the ads, awesome. It's a fraction of a penny. And, you know, I don't think YouTube wants us to show actual, like, financial records or whatnot. But I can tell you, I think, safely and without a shadow of a doubt, in the 5.5 years that I've been solely on YouTube, no Twitch streaming, no merchandise, nothing of that nature, no other external funds coming in from this particular, from this hobby of mine, I've made less than $1,000. I'll just put it simple. And that was back when I was also YouTubing in the middle of the whole the partnership reimagining, the relocation. Basically, back then everyone was re-uploading content from other creators and basically getting paid to repost videos from other creators, and they were from, you know, brand new accounts with not a whole lot of watch time, but their first video would have 80,000, 100,000, 200,000 views, and, you know, that video of a repost that someone made a throwaway account for made more money than I've ever made on YouTube, period. And, you know, YouTube, you know, put a stop to it and said if you want to be part of the partner program, you have to have at least, you know, 1,000 subscribers, and in the last year, you have to have 10,000 hours watched across your whole channel, then we'll put you back in. Well, when they did that, I was around 500 subscribers, 500 to 600 subscribers, so I immediately lost all ad revenue. If ads were being shown on my videos, that revenue was not going to me during that time. YouTube was basically writing off of my work. And then, I think it was going on a year ago, a year to a year and a half ago, I finally broke 1,000 subscribers, and thanks to the Planet Zoo fandom of watching episode 1, Planet Zoo Sandbox, that video put me over the 10,000 hours watched much quicker than any other video before it did. You know, Crusader Kings 2 had a steady stream of viewers. Hearts of Iron 4 had a steady stream of viewers, but not the numbers that Planet Zoo fostered, that is for sure. Let's make sure my lights are on. Yes, indeed. As the sun is going down, 6:21 p.m. But thanks to that video, it netted me some more subscribers and some watch time that got me to back into that partner program. So, you know, riding on the coattails of Planet Zoo, I was able to start making ad revenue again. It'll be interesting to see once I've been partnered for over a year how much ad revenue alone I've made. Now, fortunately, I've been able to appeal to a few developers, EgoSoft in particular for my X4 series. If you caught that, they very graciously allowed me to have a key for the last 2 DLC. I bought the base game on my own when it first came out. I'm a fan of the X series for sure, and they got me the key to the last 2 expansions, and I'm hoping the new expansion coming up, I can get a key for that as well to make more X4 content. And I got a few extra keys for videos you might have seen on the channel. City of Gangsters was one. Then a few other keys that I got that I played a little bit, and I didn't think I could make like a long form series of it. Like Trader Life Simulator, for example. You may never have heard of it, but it's on YouTube and Steam if you were so curious. And it's an interesting concept where you have a very empty supermarket. You have a vehicle, and you place orders for things to stock up your supermarket with. Everything from cereal to cat food to bleach to donuts. You buy refrigerators to store fresh fish and boxed fish and ice cream and things like that. And basically you open up your store and you sell all that stuff. And it was pretty engaging for the first few hours, building that up. And then very quickly, at least me, I ran to the point where I had every product in my store. People were buying like crazy. And then there was really nothing else left to do. Now, it's an early access game, and the full game might have a whole lot more to do. And when that time comes, I may post a video on it. If you can catch it on a sale for very cheap, I would recommend it if you're a fan of the, I would say the slow-paced chill games. The get into a rhythm of, going to the store. You can buy a box truck, go to the big warehouse and buy all the things you need to restock your store for that day, stock your shelves, open up your supermarket, and let the cash roll in. But I managed to, oh hey, welcome to Yellowstone, everybody. We're here. Where is old reliable Geyser? Nice. So it makes sense. So northwestern Wyoming, Yellowstone. Is this our burn risk for the day? Probably. It looks like a little bit above a green, and this day and age, I'm sure those burn meters are very, very Snake River. A turnoff there without a lookout point. But I'll definitely have to go back to Wyoming once we do see once we see all of these cities. There are a few achievements like see every lookout, and I'm sure there has to be West Thumb and the Geyser Basin. Can't take a look at Old Reliable Geyser, but I mean, there is one over there. I don't know if that is indeed the Old Faithful, but I call it Old Reliable Geyser because that was in a Donald Duck cartoon. I don't remember if it was Chip and Dale or why exactly Donald was in Yellowstone, but the geyser was Old Reliable Geyser. And that's a throwback right there. I haven't seen that particular cartoon in years. I was a little kid when I saw that for the first time. Could probably find it on YouTube if old Disney hasn't pulled it down. But good timing here, pulling up at around 8 p.m. into our spot, and indeed we did drive, and I did not see the city name pop up. So unfortunately, we did not see a new city today, but we did roll into Yellowstone National Park. Nice paths and whatnot. This is where I wish you could get out of the truck, because I imagine seeing the sights of Yellowstone on foot would be really awesome. We could do like a free console command camera, like unhook the camera and go dev view, but nice, probably a visitor center and whatnot. And yeah, this may be where Yellowstone would need their helicopter. If this is going to be some sort of brand new Ranger fire department helicopter, I could see them needing it, especially if this thing has the capacity to pick up water and put out forest fires. This day and age, more so than most, for sure. But yeah, rolling into the visitor center here in Yellowstone, or at least maybe the fire department. And we're propping this right on the helipad, which makes perfect sense. Good job, developers. If they're like, hey, where's our helicopter going to go? Well, it's going to go right on this helipad. All right, straighten this bad boy up. And it should be able to just roll off the back, I assume, if the landing gear is down. And we will nuzzle that bad boy right on in and get her green. Any second now. There we go. All right, let's drop off this helicopter. And that's 210 miles, 10 hours, 52 minutes of travel time, 36.9 miles. So what I might do is, since we are up here and it's been a fairly quick trip, let's just drive down to Jackson and see what we've got here. It's an hour and 50 minutes, 100 miles. Nope. We can buy it, but we can't sleep here. So we can either take a load now, looking at the job market out of Jackson. So Riverton is where we've been. Logan kind of gets us down there. We've been to Rollins. We've been to Casper. We've been to Ogden. Been to Price. Yeah, so nothing is coming out of Jackson, and we have one more city to look at, Evanston. So if something is coming out of Rock Springs, which also doesn't look like that's the case at all. Yeah, so what I might do is take a look at the economy in general and see what jobs are going to Evanston in the first place. See if there's a place that maybe I can head to Cheyenne, like do a quick teleport to Cheyenne and do a run to Evanston there to close out Wyoming, but we'll see what happens then. But that will do it for me. Like, share, and subscribe if you are so bold. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next American Truck Sim video. Take care.